Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Agave Talk, your number one source for everything agave. We appreciate you being here with us today. Today, I am bringing you another mezcal. Yes, if you've been with us for the last few weeks, I've been doing nothing but mezcal reviews, and this is another brand I'm bringing to you, Casa Elemental. Yes, Casa Elemental, if you do follow the channel from the beginning, this is one of the very first brands I ever reviewed, and they are now back years later with a complete overhaul, complete rebranding, and this is a beautiful looking bottle. I love style bottles like this, and if you go find that very first review, the bottle completely different, right? I'm curious to see what this is going to taste like. This is a Maguey Espadin, an artesanal mezcal made in Oaxaca, coming in at 40%. You can see some of the production notes. They're distilling with a copper pots and fermenting with wild yeast. And this is actually batch E20, bottle number 7, all right? So really cool. And not only am I bringing you this week, over the course of the next 2 weeks, I'm bringing you something else from the brand that is very rare, very special. So today, checking out the Espadin. Next week, we're checking out Pulcata. Do you know what Pulcata is? You probably don't. Very rare agave spirit. We're going to check this out, and I'm going to show and showcase this next week. So stay tuned for that for sure to learn all about Pulcata. And then we're going to finish out with something that's not a mezcal, I guess you can say, maybe-ish, right? No, it is an agave spirit, and it is being made with Tequilana, Blue Weber agave, but from Zacatecas, right? So we can't call it a tequila, but yo, stay tuned for this. I'm gonna check this out in 3 weeks, right? So 1, 2, 3. Stay tuned for these rare spirits for sure. Learn something amazing about those. But today, really, I am just checking out and highlighting and reviewing this Mezcal Artesanal Espadin, right? So Casa Elemental, like I said, one of the very first brands I reviewed. They're back now with a brand new rebranding. Check out their website, 750selections.com/Casa-Elemental. You can, just search that online, Casa Elemental Mezcal. It will pop up. They are using what they say is some of the best artisanal recipes from communities around the world, right? They're paying fair price to small producers, and they're working under a deep respect for each element of nature. So that's the branding right there, Casa Elemental, right? And they say it's a collection, colecciones, because they actually have a full lineup. They're doing rum, gin, they got bacanora, raicilla, right? They have a ton of spirits, I should say, that they are bringing to the market. And of course, I'm checking out the agave ones right now. And what's cool too is that they're actually giving back 8% of the profits to contribute to social and environmental projects in the communities of where it comes from. So if you know me, I definitely dig that for sure, giving back to the community. So Casa Elemental, a lot of, symbolism in the actual branding. Go check out their website to learn more for sure. But today, really, I am, like I said, just focusing on this Espadin. It is 40%. And they are using what they're saying only the best plants for complex production. Takes about 2 weeks to complete. They're roasting the magueys actually in a volcanic underground oven for 7 days and then distilled twice in copper pots. So wild yeast going on, right? 7-day roasting and the double distill. So we shall see. We shall see. You can see some of the story back there, right? Sustainability, handcrafting. And hopefully all of that actually plays into the glass. And this is a limited production. So shout out Casa Elemental. Very excited to try this. And let's see, the top is, just some plastic to pull off. Let me get that off and I'll show you the cork. It's got some nice branding, that Casa Elemental logo you're going to see. Let your bottles pop. On the actual cork. I like that. Very nice soft wood cork. And let's pour this out, all right? I appreciate you being here. If you have not done so already, please hit that like and subscribe, as well as follow us on Instagram at Agave Talk. I love this style bottle, and these are bottles I'll actually repurpose. I like keeping these around for any like infinity bottles, things like that. For me personally, I just love this this style of bottle, right? So checking this out, 40% Espadin, and looking at the legs and tears. Let me move this out of the way. That is really sticky. That's not going anywhere. Very, very coating for sure, and oily as well. Look at that. There is no running whatsoever in that. Very clear, right? Taking a sniff of this. Oh, yeah. That's... When we're talking Espadin, just like if you come from the tequila world, like Blue Weber Agave, tequila has, if it's a really good tequila, it's going to smell like Blue Weber. It's going to smell like the maguey, the plant, right? In the mezcal world, it's the same. Whatever maguey you're using, it should smell like that. And Espadin definitely has a smell, and this right here smells like Espadin. What I'm also getting, though, I'm getting some anise in there, some anise root specifically. That's actually really fresh. It's light, it's airy, it's bright. You know me personally, I'm not a huge fan of anise, but done in this way, where it's more like a smoked anise, but balancing with that Espadin, I can definitely dig it and get with it. In addition to that, as it kind of opens up, it's like you got some minerals in there for sure. It's kind of like, it's got some citrus notes, some smoky, earthy notes, minerals going on, but I wonder, it's kind of even tropical. If I'm thinking like fruity, even like papaya. It's got some papaya notes in there. People think I'm weird. Papaya to me smells like vomit, but this is done in a way. I'm not saying this smells like vomit. All right, it's done in a way where that papaya, the sweetness, is mixed in with that anise, and it's kind of smoky. There's definitely a lot going on in this glass, and it's like a citrus mineral kind of fruity thing going on with some smoke. I'm digging it. I'm definitely digging that for sure. Cheers. Let's take a sip. Okay. Yeah. Ooh. Oh, that's good. That fruitiness is coming through. It's bitter, though. That's interesting. I wasn't expecting that bitterness. Everything I was describing in the nose is absolutely shining through in the glass. I'm surprised it's only 40%. It definitely had a little bit more heat to it, but there's no like ethanol on there. But it's definitely, let me take another sip. Oh, yeah. It is a bitterness. The finish, it's a smokier kind of finish with that mineral. So you're getting hit first and foremost with like a fruity. There's a lot. Oh man, it comes in. It's kind of fruity. You got some of that smoky anise. You're then hit with like a bitter mid. But then afterwards, it kind of smooths out into just like this mineral smoke, like white smoke, real clean. Like I said, this is real clean for sure. It's real light, it's real airy, but there's some chunkiness towards that mid palate. Let me take another sip. Oh yeah, man, that is interesting. I'm digging this. I'm definitely digging this for sure. As I'm talking, though, that bitterness is kind of throwing me off slightly, but it then ends up smoothing out into more of that just like mineral smoke kind of finish. Honestly, this is nice. This is nice. This is definitely a spirit that you can take, and as a mezcal, just sit there. I pick up a wheel, right? There's a lot of flavor wheels, aroma wheels out there. If you just type in like mezcal aroma wheel, mezcal flavor wheel, tequila flavor wheel, whatever, a lot of brands will have their own, and you can just sit there, like look at it, like sit there and pull it up. And even if I say something like burnt rubber, there's that burnt rubber taste kind of in that mid section. But is that something off-putting? Hey, it depends on your taste buds. For me, it's kind of a cool journey because it starts one way, it then transitions into something else, and then it finishes something completely different. And it's kind of like a gobstopper, right? For me, I love spirits that can do that. And for sure, Casa Elemental hit it out of the park with this. I'm digging this. I'm definitely digging this Espadin for sure. Let me take a sip. Okay. There's even, maybe it's the wild yeast in there. I'd be curious of where they're getting the Espadins, because there's even something else in there. It tastes wild. I'm not sure how to explain it. Like, if they even told me, maybe there was like 10% of like, not even 10, like 2% of maybe some other type of maguey in there, I'd believe it. This is definitely an interesting Espadin. And overall, connecting and thinking back to, I mean, it was years ago where I first tried it. This, to me, just, they kind of refined their recipe and added a bit more to it. And flavor-wise, it's definitely got a lot going on. Hey, shout out to the team for sure. This is that Espadin. Like I said, stay next week for the Pulcata. Very, very, very interesting. Please stay tuned, learn about this, and then finishing off the brand, 3 of these with their Tequilana, right? Their Blue Weber agave. And, but of course, we can't call it tequila, right? So really cool. Appreciate you being here. If you have not done so already, hit that like and subscribe, as well as follow us on Instagram at Agave Talk, all right? This right here was pretty solid. I'm going to pour actually another pour, and we're going to go from there, all right? Stay tuned. See you next week.